Welcome to Drive-In, where instead of coming out of the closet, you come out of the garage. And as always, we like to start the show off with This Week in Car Geek. Now, my opinion has always been, men cannot pull off convertibles. It just can't be done. Every time I see someone in a convertible, I just think douchebag. You know, and he could be a very nice person. He could be very religious, very charitable. Without even knowing the person, I immediately judge them. But I recently found a car I think I could get behind. This is supposed to be the new Alfa Romeo Spider, which is based off of a fantastic car, the Mazda Miata. I wouldn't care if I had to ride around all day holding the hands of another man to do it. Absolutely worth it.
That'd be worth it.
And the fact that it's going to be based on the Miata, which is a fantastic handling car. Like, bar none, the Miata is a great handling car. It's just going to be fun and good looking. I can't see where you can go wrong with that thing.
And also, this is the kind of car that you can just jump into, and whatever you're wearing, that's what you're wearing.
Exactly.
You got a t-shirt, you got jeans, shorts, you can dress up, that's on.
It's a total pajama car.
You can do whatever you want.
Seriously.
You wear whatever.
You're probably going to pull up to like the grocery store or whatever. Maybe somebody else has got a yellow one, and you park it right next to it. You know what? Deep down in your heart, you're going to know, I have a connection with a fellow human being.
Give them a little fist pump as well, pal.
Exactly. Although that person isn't there. And if they are there, they may not want to touch you. Here it is from the back. It's phenomenal. I mean, it is a great looking car. Like, they could have made this car the whole time, yet they made the Miata and the MX-5. I don't get it. Although, I will say this. If you put golf bags in the back of this thing, I will find you and murder you. Because that is not a golfer's car. All right, so on to a car I'm a little conflicted about, I'm going to be honest. So these were the original photos released by Ferrari. These were the teaser photos. This is clearly the rear end. Fingers crossed. And here is the front end. Obviously not giving a lot of details. But here's what I think is interesting. You know, Ferrari has chosen, at least with these pictures, from what I can tell, to kind of build the hype of something. And the problem is it's not like an iPhone or a Galaxy S4 where they release like leaked images and it suddenly builds this online fervor and everybody becomes anxious for it. Like, this is not a standard consumer item. Like, you can't go out and buy a Ferrari like you can buy an iPhone, which is why people get excited about it, because it's accessible. Even though they have limited the picture to somehow excite you, I don't feel like the car is any more accessible. The other thing is I already know it's going to be a good car. Like, clearly it's going to be fast, it's going to have a lot of horsepower, it's going to sound amazing, and blah, 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 blah. But here's what it actually looks like. Now, here's the rear end. And honestly, it looks nice. I'm not saying it's an ugly car, but I'm saying clearly it was designed by scientists and technology. Like, there's a lot going on back here, and I can already tell it's basically a physics textbook that I'm looking at. There's a lot inside, but I don't know if I can get through all the material. I prefer form following function, not function for the sake of form. And I feel like it's a good look, it's a good shape, but it's not a great shape, and it's not a great look. Here it is from the front. And it's supposed to, obviously this is supposed to be the Enzo replacement. I believe it's, the code name is the F70, but it is actually called the La Ferrari. I don't know if that's actually how you say it, and it's a lame name. I mean, I absolutely am 100%, I'm going to go for it. I am 1,000% sure it's going to be a phenomenal car to drive. There isn't anything that really, excites me. Like, I look at this and I go, it's probably going to have how much horsepower?
I think it was 963.
Okay, so it's going to have 963 horsepower with the assistance of an electric motor, which we talked about last week. Anyways. But I still think at the end of the day, what's it going to cost? Like $1.2 million or something like that?
1.4.
$1.4 million? I would rather have 3 Ferrari 458s. Thing is, though, there's already been, I think they've advertised 1,000 pre-orders for it.
Was it?
I'm like, well, I'm not surprised. Like, you know, like I said, there's a big difference between Ferrari owners and Ferrari drivers.
Yeah, just like you said. I mean, when you look at this car, at the end of the day, you're paying for that emblem right there. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like you said, take the 458.
Yeah, you're only helping them sell more hats and belts and aftershave.
Yeah, it's just the new Ferrari that you have to be the
Yeah,
king
like,
of the block.
Listen, everybody in Abu Dhabi is going to be just floored when this thing shows up. They're going to love it for about 2 weeks, realize all the other sultans have got one, and then it's going to sit in their garage. Okay, 458. It's a 4.5 liter V8. So why didn't they call this, since it has the electronic assist dealie, why didn't they call it like the E motor name here? You know,
And
like,
that Ferrari. Yeah.
I can't believe they called it that. What a terrible name. And that ends this week in Car Geek. Now, coming up, speaking of the 458, and the reason why I bring it up is we shot a lot of footage a little while ago, but I lost our interior footage we had of the review of the car. Had a little bit of a hard drive failure, but I was able to pull it back from the brink. So this is our review of the 458. Now, originally, Matt, who got to drive it on the track, who does the review, would have done the voiceover for the gaps between his review. Unfortunately, he has the flu, so I was going to do the voiceover, but then I realized I would have to explain why I'm doing the voiceover, and I thought, you know what, forget it. Let's let the imagery speak for itself. So please enjoy.
Phenomenal acceleration right here. Turn-ins, very crisp, no nose diving, suspension is very predictable. Ooh, the back end just slides out anytime you need it to. Very quick. Full acceleration right there. That's in the rain. That's what these Pirelli courses, which are specially made for this car, absolutely amazing. Going into the first couple corners here, just very tight. You can feel literally every crack in the road. I mean, this thing's amazing. A little bit of understeer on the slower corners when you're accelerating just into them. Very predictable. See if check out the back end. Yeah, the back end comes out anytime you want it to. Very balanced, just like any Ferrari. The big difference on this one is just how crisp it feels. The steering is just perfection at its finest. Back end slipping out a little bit right there for you, which is the actual weight of this car is 3,000 pounds. So definitely you get the feel for it. Braking going in at 120. Great braking. The shifts are extremely fast. Less than a millisecond shifts. I mean, it definitely has the torque, has the horsepower. It's just so much more precise. I mean, it's just really finite. You can feel everything that's going on in the steering wheel is translated directly into the driving experience. You turn in, you know exactly what's happening. Feel the back can come out just a little bit. You just slightly overcorrect a little bit. Just absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks for watching. Please like us, and as always, subscribe.